Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. I've started using Perplexity.ai, which I like because it shows you the sources of information it was trained on. I asked Perplexity.ai, who is Tony Heller, and it responded, Heller has been involved in spreading disinformation about climate change, and his content is often associated with climate change denialism. They don't specify any of the disinformation they're accusing me of. They're simply using hearsay from some third-party sources. So let's look at some actual disinformation about climate. The BBC published this article on December 12, 2007. Arctic summers ice-free by 2013. Scientists in the U.S. have presented one of the most dramatic forecasts yet for the disappearance of Arctic sea ice. Their latest modeling studies indicate northern polar waters could be ice-free in summers within just 5 to 6 years. Professor Peter Wadhams of Cambridge University said, in the end, it will just melt away quite suddenly. So let's take a look at how the BBC forecast turned out. The black waveform shows Arctic sea ice extent every day since the day that BBC article was published in 2007. And the red line shows their projection of an ice-free Arctic by the year 2013. It's pretty clear that the BBC was spreading misinformation, which supposedly is illegal in the United Kingdom. Now let's take a look at another article from 2009, written by John Kerry, Obama's climate czar. He said, scientists project that the Arctic will be ice-free in the summer of 2013, not in 2050, but 4 years from now. His forecast didn't do very well. It's pretty clear that Obama's climate czar was spreading misinformation. Kerry was getting his misinformation from the Naval Postgraduate School and from NASA. They published this graph showing the Arctic ice-free by the year 2014. But Perplexity.ai says that graph never existed. Dr. Maslowski did not generate a graph explicitly showing the Arctic as ice-free by 2013. They claim that his research was misinterpreted by people like Al Gore. But the BBC quoted Maslowski in their 2007 article saying, our projection of 2013 for the removal of ice in summer is not accounting for the last two minima in 2005 and 2007. So given that fact, you can argue that maybe our projection of 2013 is already too conservative. So once again, Maslowski and Perplexity.ai are spreading misinformation. And here's some more misinformation from this year from the Los Angeles Times. Ice-free days in Arctic Ocean. Troubling milestone could occur as soon as 2020s or 2030s, much earlier than projected. So they're saying that the 2020s and 2030s are much earlier than 2013. That study came out of the University of Colorado in Boulder, which is one of the epicenters of climate misinformation. And of course, the World Economic Forum is doing everything they can to spread as much climate misinformation as possible. There's very good reason why these forecasts are failing. The Arctic summer is too short to melt all of that ice. There's only about 70 days a year when the area of Earth north of 80 north latitude is above freezing, and that time is up for the year. The air over the entire Arctic ice pack is already below freezing for the winter. And that's why these forecasts are failing. These top climate scientists don't understand the basics of science. So I asked Perplexity.ai about the most famous government climate scientist, NASA's James Hansen. Perplexity.ai answered, in 2008, NASA's James Hansen was among several scientists and public figures who predicted that the Arctic could become ice-free in the summer within 5 to 10 years. This prediction was based on the assumption that rising carbon dioxide levels would lead to rapid declines in sea ice. However, this projection did not materialize as expected, and recent data indicates no significant downward trend in Arctic sea ice extent over the last 17 years, with current levels being above the 21st century average. In other words, NASA's James Hansen was spreading misinformation. It's been almost exactly 16 years since I wrote this article in the Register, making fun of climate scientists who are projecting an ice-free Arctic. So I pointed out to Perplexity.ai that I was correct in 2008 and these other people making projections of an ice-free Arctic were wrong. And this is how Perplexity.ai responded. In summary, while Hansen's projection was incorrect, it was not considered misinformation as it was based on scientific modeling. Heller's claims, however, have been widely regarded as misinformation by the scientific community. So according to Perplexity.ai, being correct is misinformation and being wrong is not. And that pretty much sums up the decrepit and utterly corrupt world of academic climate science. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on the climate scam for 16 years. You can visit him and his family on the web at realclimatescience.com.